When did love start feeling like a panic attack? Hey, I'm Alex, and this is Find a Millennial Diary. Welcome to Volume 5, Love, Sex, and Relationships. We're diving into the beautiful mess of how we really try, to love in this digital age. This volume is all about that, the ways we see connection, how someone sabotages it, and how we're learning to hold space for love even when it feels confusing or complicated. And we're starting off with something super specific, but also super relatable. That moment when someone text me when you get home. On the surface, it sounds sweet, thoughtful, but underneath, there's something deeper happening. Today, we're unpacking what that phrase really says about how we experience love, anxiety, and emotional safety. So, let's talk about this phrase, text me when you get home. We've all heard it before. We've all said it. But here's the thing. It's not just about making sure someone made it home safe. It's about needing to know you're still on their mind, that they didn't forget about you the second you walked away, that they care enough to check in. It's a stand-in for 100 unsaid things like, please stay connected to me, or I'm afraid of being forgotten, right? And a lot of us have attached our sense of security to those little moments of contact. We crave them because, let's be honest, the world hasn't always felt very safe, at least not for us millennials, right? So we cling to these tiny little anchors of reassurance. Now, growing up, a lot of us were surrounded by emotional turbulence. Maybe our parents were going through something they never talked about. Maybe the world just never gave us time to feel safe. 9/11, Y2K, economic crashes, school lockdown drills. That kind of thing sticks with you. So, what happens? Our bodies get trained to expect the worst. And when you add technology, a phone buzzing, a message seen but not replied to, it becomes the perfect storm. It's not just that we get nervous when someone doesn't reply. It's that our entire system lights up, preparing for abandonment, for bad news, for being too much or not enough. We're not just being dramatic though. We're responding to a lifetime of uncertainty. Okay, listen, let's talk about read receipts. You know the ones, read at 8:47 p.m. and then nothing. It's wild how something so small can spiral any of us. But here's what happens. Our brain fills in that blank. We start writing stories. Oh, they're ignoring me. They changed their mind. I should have never opened up. And now we're sitting in a feedback loop of silence and panic, over-analyzing everything we said, rereading texts like they're crime scene evidence. It turns relationships into constant states of guessing. Are we okay? Are they still interested? Am I too much? And in that guessing, we lose the whole point of connection. When we say text me when you get home, we're often saying I care about you, but we're also saying, please don't vanish. It's the subtle plea for reassurance, right? For continuity, for proof that we're still important, even when we're out of sight. Now, it's not needy. It's human. It's not clingy. It's building a connection. We just want to know that love doesn't disappear the second we're not visible. So how do we heal from this? First, we talk about our anxiety. Out loud, by the way. No shame, no need to filter it. Second, I think we create boundaries around texting that becomes something coming out of kindness, not control. Like saying, hey, I won't always reply right away, but that doesn't mean I care any less. Third, we remind ourselves that silence doesn't always mean something is wrong. Sometimes people are just tired or busy or not in the right place to talk. And finally, we practice trusting. Trusting that we are lovable, that we are safe, that we are enough, even without constant confirmation. This could either go for someone that you like, love, or whatever, or friends, if you got that type of friendship. Now, let's zoom out and compare generations here for a second. I want to try something new. Millennials grew up with landlines, handwritten notes, and waiting all weekend to talk to your crush on AIM, right? Love had space. It had suspense. Sometimes too much, but it also gave us time to think, to miss, to long for. Now, today's generation, everything's instant, seen, delivered, responded to, or not. And that speed has turned dating for this generation into a constant performance. If you're not fast, well, you're forgotten. And if you're not interesting, well, you're ghosted. See, our generation, we're the bridge between the love letters and love languages. We were taught to fear being too much and ended up craving constant proof that we're not too little. So yeah, texting when you get home hits different when you've lived through both sides of the emotional internet. So let's answer the central question here. When did love start feeling like a panic attack? Probably when we started confusing instant responses for real intimacy, when being seen on a screen became our way of feeling valued, when we forgot that love isn't about speed, it's about safety. And again, I reiterate, that also goes for strong friendships. We can rewire this though. We can learn to love without the anxiety hangover. We can unlearn the panic and relearn that pause that, us millennials grew up with. Next up, the dating app fatigue is real because listen, love isn't supposed to feel like swiping through job applications. But that's where this generation and the world that we're in is at, right? Listen, head over to alexiscardoza.com to check out everything. Follow the show on Apple or Spotify and sub to the YouTube channel as we continue building this community together. You're not too sensitive. You're just trying to feel safe. And this is fine.
Goodbye.